it's every time I paint, I try to lock on to something new and try to amp up something that I didn't have before. Yeah, so what I use, like what physically I use, doesn't mean anything. It's really about how I use it and how I apply it, when I apply it.
So you're not giving us a fish. You're teaching us how to fish with this answer.
I'm not going to tell you what kind of a line I use. I'm going to tell you why I use line.
Okay, all right.
To realize is that if I told you exactly what I use and you just went out and did it, you would not get the same results. It's just these are the things that have started to work for me. You know, these are the ones that based on my technique, my pressure of my hand, the speed in which I paint, these are what does it. I will say that I use far too much cobalt. Far too much.
Cobalt blue?
Cobalt dryer. Yeah, there are times that I just need something to be flaky and dry and raspy on my brush. So that's when I use cobalt to get this kind of like paint that is shitty feeling paint. I also use brushes that are inappropriate for what I'm doing. I use almost entirely round hog bristle. I don't use a lot of sable, which I should. It's better for oil.
Well, then why do you use the hog?
Because it's harder, and I find that if I can get it done with the biggest brush, I get the best effect. So I do my detail with a big brush and just hope for the effect. And hog is a late invention. You know, hog didn't even exist when Caravaggio was painting and Rembrandt was painting. They didn't use hog bristle. Hog bristle came around when the 19th century, when the what are those assholes called? The Impressionists were painting, because they were commercially made brushes. Same with the metal ferrule, that little piece of metal that keeps your bristles in there. Those bristles used to be tied on. There wasn't a metal ferrule. Your bristles were tied onto it. So things like flats and brights, when your brush is flat, that didn't exist back then. All brushes were round. Fan brushes, you could even make them. Again, that's the history of art informing art. The full technical history of art is just as fascinating as the inspirational history of art.
Yeah, that actually is.
Yeah.
And the history of paints and pigments and.
Sure, it's the loaded black. When people started painting it en plein air, when they were painting outside, they were buying their colors from a color maker in metal tubes from William Newton. That's all part of the Impressionists. So you couldn't do that before. You'd have to get your colors made. They were put into pig bladders. They were a pain in the ass. You couldn't take them outside. They were runnier.
And the green ones had the stuff that would kill you. I was thinking arsenic. Thank you.
Really wasn't used in paints much. Arsenic and green was used in wallpaper. Yeah, you actually had arsenic on your walls. And you know who owned a massive arsenic mine? William Morris. He was part of the peripheral pre-Raphaelite movement. He designed patterns and wallpapers, dabbled in everything. But he owned a big arsenic mine because of that green that everybody wanted. So yeah, but that green was not used in paint. It just wasn't.
Am I thinking of lead? What am I thinking of?
Lead is definite. I still use lead today. I don't eat my paints, but there is a very specific thing that lead white does that you can't get in any of the other paints. You just can't. And if it's properly prepared, have you ever played with putting water into cornstarch?
No. What does that do?
It's fascinating. You just get some cornstarch and put some water in it. And when you grab it with your hands, like put your hand into it, just grab it, it cracks. And if you loosen up, it just turns back into a liquid. So if you hit it hard, it becomes, cracks like chalk. But if you do it very, very softly, it's like putting your hands in liquid. It's really a magic substance. And properly prepared lead white has that same thing. So if I move my brush very quickly, it'll make a stiff peak, and it just stays there. And if I move my brush very slowly, it'll be a very smooth, glassy surface.
And
you can't get that with other paints, sadly.
Wow, that's very interesting. I'm gonna have to try that.
A lot of people don't want that. I mean, when you're really dealing with that kind of thing, you're painting at a different level. You're working on object, not image. And object painting today is just really not thought of. It's not done that much. And when it is thought of, it's done heavily. You know what I mean? It's usually done in the sense of adding other things to your painting. Like I'm doing a painting and I glue a toy to it. I glue a little toy car and stuff. So now you're thinking of object. It's not just painting. And you're working on a 3D surface, but you've gone beyond painting. You know what I mean? You're into the realm of mixed media and mixed media collage.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm not doubting it. It's lovely and fine. I'm a big fan of it, actually.
But it's not painting.
Yeah, I'm just talking about straight up painting.
Yeah.
Straight up painting.
So my next question is, there's a clear progression in your paintings. The women become more fierce as time goes on.
Well, what happened there is just I went from one series to the next. I was doing a series of kind of sorrow. There were women portraits. That's pretty much what I do, portrait painter. Women with, there were halos, so they were seen as a sainted object, like iconography, where you could look at them and go that their sorrow is holy, their sorrow is powerful. It's not, they didn't, misplace the remote control for the garage door or anything. That the halos give it this kind of sanctified sorrow, and that's what I was painting, these kind of versions of sorrow. And none of them had eye contact. And then the next series I did with the black background, which is to remove anything but the figure, to put the figure in a space of memory. Not in a space like a physical space, but in the space that you would if you just thought of somebody, which has no background. It's just them. Very dark, hazy background. And it's only eye contact. They're all making eye contact to the viewer, because here I'm not trying to express sorrow or anything sainted. I'm expressing a work of art that confronts you. So, this portrait, and this portrait is actually looking at you. It's not a passive thing.